What is going on, everybody? Welcome to this late edition of Truck Talk, brought to you by me, myself, and I, and inspired by the unfortunate events today of the murder of Brian Thompson, the UnitedHealthCare CEO, who was gruesomely assassinated out front of the New York Hilton. And this will be a bit of a different Truck Talk, guys. Now, if you've seen the video, and if you haven't, I'm going to roll a clip, right? And I'm going to try to talk you through it. So let's roll it. And if you see here, this guy pulls up behind Brian, who's seen there. He shoots him. And if you're looking at the pistol, it is jamming rearward, and clearly it has a suppressor. Now, he's going to continue following up those shots, and it's going to continue to jam and until it is over. Okay? He briefly escaped and took off, I believe, on an e-bike. Brian died on the scene, and I think the bike was discovered later on at Central Park. So we're going to talk about why that pistol was jamming and what I believe is happening there. Now, no one in the media, I believe, is going to tell you this, because again, what's in the mainstream media, I should say, sorry, is not experts of any sorts. Now, they're going to tell you it's a suppressor, and they're not going to tell you why it jammed, and they're going to say that, you know, he was maybe an inexperienced shooter, but he looked like he knew what he was doing. And I believe that he is a trained shooter. Now, he did not do his research and did not know what he needed to run on his firearm so it would not jam that way. What is on the video is either a homemade, I believe it was homemade, and we'll get into that later, direct thread suppressor, such of the sorts that get attached to either fixed barreled pistols, but mainly on fixed barreled rifles. And most of your barrels on rifles are fixed, right? Even the free float ones, they're still fixed to an upper. I have a direct thread here. This is not homemade. This is obviously purchased by me, and I do have a stamp for it. This is for a 5.56 gun, an AR-15. We're not going to talk about threads and installation because unfortunately YouTube sucks and they will demonetize us. So thank you, YouTube. What we'll do is show you this threads on. Obviously it has threads here, directly threads onto a barrel and then fires. Now, if that barrel is not moving like the ones on pistols do, like your Glocks and M&Ps and SIGs, there's no problem because there's no motion in the barrel, and therefore the bullet travels just fine and the action doesn't jam like that of a pistol. Now, this can be threaded onto a pistol like a Glock 19 and an M&P and also a, you know, SIG, whatever, any of the modern striker fire pistols, even some of your 1911s, anything that has a threaded barrel can potentially accept a direct thread suppressor. However, when these guns move and the slides go rearward, the barrel floats, and this is a giant weight. This weighs about a pound, maybe a pound and a half. And that creates a fork, like basically an effect towards the barrel's top heavy, and it goes down, and that slide now becomes wedged and jammed due to the weight of the suppressor. And that's exactly what you see happening on the video, where that slide is being jammed and he's having to work it forward, chamber another round, and fire again. All it does is extract a round, but it doesn't chamber a new one because the slide is now locked back. And now, what is a typical suppressor on a firearm? I will show you, and by the way, it is rendered safe. Okay, the gun's not loaded, it has a magazine in it, but it's been clear for the purposes and the demonstration of this video. This is my Glock 19. You've seen it in several videos, right? It has a Surefire. I'm sorry, it does not. This is actually a Silencer Co. Osprey. Okay, the Silencer Osprey has a Nielsen device right here, or what's commonly referred to in the industry as a booster. Now, what that booster does, and I'm going to take the magazine out, right, to demonstrate, is that it is a spring that is inside this. I won't get further into that because of what I mentioned previously. Now, when this spring is engaged, meaning the gun is fired, it disconnects briefly from the barrel on the inside. There's a piston with a spring that disconnects and disengages allowing the slide and barrel to become free and move in the rearward position without getting locked onto the barrel due to the massive weight of a suppressor. And I'll demonstrate that. There it goes, one more time. It comes in the battery and goes forward every single time. Another suppressor, a direct thread suppressor, will pull weight on this and cannot disconnect briefly, and therefore then it'll stay locked back because that weight is now pushing down on this barrel and then up on this slide, locking it like you see there. And that's why I know for a fact that one, for sure what you're seeing in the video is a direct thread style suppressor, 100%. It did not have a booster, and if it was something that needed a booster, he did not procure it, figured out a way to direct thread it. It is a direct thread suppressor. If it had a booster, it would have cycled normally. He wouldn't have had to run the gun several times to get additional shots off. I know it's kind of grim to talk about this, but I want you guys to be educated, because this, no firearm, I don't even think there will have a firearms expert on any news media outlet, but they're going to tell you that this guy was a pro. And yeah, I think he was a bit of a, definitely someone who had trained in firearms and act very, let's just say, what you would think a typical assassin would act and dress and behave in that sort of manner. However, when it came to running the firearm and the setup, he was an absolute rookie. That is a rookie mistake. No one goes into a gunfight except allowing or wanting their gun to jam. Now, there are some nuances here. Now, I have direct threaded onto these type of pistols before, and they do typically run quieter. And I think that has a lot to do with the fact that there's so much weight on the front of the gun, and that motion is slid back a little bit longer, delayed, I should say, and therefore allows it a little bit more dwell, so more gases are able to come into the suppressor versus popping out the breech in the chamber. So another conversation. I don't want to get into the weeds, but comment and let me know what you guys think below. Dying to hear what you guys think about this. I know it's a very unfortunate incident. I just wanted to kind of educate you guys and explain to you what was going on, what I think happened in that video. And I definitely believe that was a direct thread suppressor that he used on a pistol without a Nielsen device or booster, commonly known in the industry. Guys, I have nothing else for you. And again, I'm not trying to profit off this. I just want to make it clear for you guys and let you know that it's not, don't pay attention to what you always see in the news. There's always a reason why some of these things happen, and the news is not necessarily going to explain it to you. Formulate your own opinions, do some research. Love you guys. I have nothing else for you. See you guys in the next video.